So today I thought I would give you my best and worst movie theater experiences of all time. Do me a favor and tell me yours down below. We can have a nice discussion about the absolute best movie theater experiences we've had, and then also the worst. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button down below because I can see who is watching my videos and are not subscribed. So do me a favor and subscribe. But if you're watching me for the first time, also hit the subscribe button and leave a like. So I will be giving 3 best experiences and 3 worst. It'll be going every other. So one of the best experiences I've had in a movie theater is for Shazam. Now, this was the first comic book movie I've ever seen in a theater. I actually went to see this with my friends, so we had a absolutely great time. It was hilarious, and we got there really early, and, it was just really fun, and it was just completely, again, the first time I've ever been to a comic book movie, so to see all these comic book fans there, it was just so great, and it was so fun to see. It was just such an experience, and I will never forget it. That it was just so fun. Again, the movie was hilarious, and the crowd just reacted to every little thing they said and did in this movie, and it was absolutely amazing. But something that isn't amazing is my experience with The Secret Life of Pets. Secret Life of Pets 2, there was a couple of really annoying people in the audience, but for the first Secret Life of Pets, they were doing a free showing actually of this. So when we went there, it was absolutely packed. So I had to sit by myself away from my family, and it was probably one of the longest movies I've ever seen. I mean, it felt really long. And then there was a baby right next to me, and it was just such a bad experience. And this one lady asked if she could have some of my popcorn. It was really weird. It was strange. Definitely won't forget this. It was so weird, and definitely one of my worst experiences. The movie itself is okay. I don't particularly like it, but it's not a horrible movie, not Illumination's worst. So the movie's okay. Movie experience, not so good. And for another best, I went with Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, mainly because I saw this with my dad, and it was so hilarious. This movie was absolutely hilarious. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I can rewatch this movie a lot, but we're not talking about most rewatchable movies. That might be a video later on, but we're talking about the experience. And this movie, I think, came out in December. I watched it in February when it was still in theaters, but the theater was still absolutely packed, and everybody was so into the movie, and it was so hilarious. And comedies and action movies are just the best to experience in the theaters, and Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle is definitely one of them. But another worst, I have to go with Planes. Now, this is the spin-off to Cars, and particularly this one, we were the only ones in the theater, me and my family, only ones in the theater. We were sitting there, and they didn't play the previews. We thought that was weird. But we were sitting there for like 20 minutes after the movie was supposed to start, and the screen was still completely blank. So we had to eventually tell them that, it wasn't playing, and then we still had to sit through all the previews. So we really didn't get to watch this movie 40 minutes after. So that was just a horrible experience. You're ready to watch the movie, and then it doesn't start, and then it doesn't start for a while, and you still got to watch all the previews. It was just so bad. Yeah. But easily, nothing came close to this. The best movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, but the best movie experience for me has to be Endgame, and this is only because of the crowd. This movie, at the movie theater, people were lining up around outside. It was absolutely packed, and when you get there, there's a sign on the door, and it's talking about Doctor Strange and spoilers, and it was, it said, I'm pretty sure it said, Doctor Strange didn't tell, so you shouldn't, or Doctor Strange didn't spoil, so you shouldn't spoil. That was clever in and of itself, but also, and the MCU audience, I'm a huge MCU fan, but the audience is absolutely spectacular. Every little thing, people would be going, oh, and like just reacting. It was hilarious to watch other people's reactions. I went to this with my cousins, so it was also really fun, to hang out with them. And it was overall just a really fun movie to watch. And again, best movie theater experience. Real quick before we go any further, I just want to say I haven't seen as many movies as a lot of you probably have. That is why a lot of these worst experiences aren't that bad. But yeah, and some of the better experiences, I wouldn't really call them great experiences, but for me, for all the movies I've seen, it's my personal list. So again, feel free to share yours down below, but now on to the worst of my experiences. So, and for the worst movie theater experience, I have to go with Happy Feet 2. This I came out when I was little, so maybe, if I went now, it wouldn't seem as bad. But I remember thinking this movie was really boring and not fun, and it's not. On rewatch, it's not, but we're not here to talk about Happy Feet 2. We're here to talk about the experience. Anyway, it was like 80 degrees. It was the winter, so they had the heat on, but it was so hot in this movie theater, and I was like squished in between two people, and it wasn't a fun experience. The movie was so boring too that overall it just wasn't fun. People were talking a lot during this movie, and it was just such a bad experience. We got in there on time, but it was just such a bad experience, and I do not think this is a good movie, so that didn't add on top. This is like the first movie I remember not liking in the theater. When I was a kid, you like everything that you kind of see, but this is a movie that I didn't enjoy, so that didn't help. And then again, it was so hot in there, and I was just squished in between two people. It was a bad experience. People were talking the whole time. Phones were going off. Just, it wasn't a fun experience. Guys, tell me down below, though, in the comments, what are your worst and best movie theater experiences? I'd really like to know. We can have a discussion about that in the comments down below. Remember to hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and comment. May the force be with you.